Good evening, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alista Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gacha Episode 6, the continuation of Spanner giving the middle finger to Hotaru and Bolt. Oh man, Spanner is becoming a cool dude. I'm starting to like him, but I already liked him the moment he dissed Horuto. Ah, yes. I was laughing so hard, especially at the very end, which I wish I just thought of something. Instead of walking away as he did in that last scene, I wish he could just magically popped out a kendo stick and just whack him at the lower back like he did the last time, and just continuing, the disrespect and the disacknowledging Hotaru. But it is what it is, I guess. One can only dream. So yeah, this is all centered on Spanner and revenge, and how revenge can lead you to nowhere. So let's continue on with this Spanner of a tale, shall we? So the story begins with Weird Sister number 2, and she encounters a woman who apparently got dumped by her man and took everything. She is pissed, and Weird Sister number 2 is channeling her inner Palpatine, and she is trying to, make her feel more vengeful, more malice, because of course Weird Sister number 2 is planning on turning this woman into a Amalgam, which she almost succeeded, mind you, because as she was about to use her newly captured Kemi and try to fuse it with her, all of a sudden you see Spanner, and he immediately does his thing by capturing the card, and he just blows Weird Sister number 2 away with his ring of power. And before he left the apartment, Spanner told the woman, like, hey, vengeance is not a virtue. You need to move on with your life. Straight to the point, and he just walks away out of the apartment. And then you see Weird Sister number 2, still feeling the impact of what happened, because come on, she was blown away out a window. I'm surprised she was able to walk, but anyway, she's upset, and she's angry at the fact that, man, you ruined my plan, whatever. And then all of a sudden, you see this weird man stalking Spanner, and Weird Sister number 2 senses great malice in this dude, and you hear this man just say, I will get my vengeance upon you. He has the crazy eyes, and Weird Sister number 2 says, oh, okay, the day is not yet lost. I think I have my candidate here for the next monster of the week, mind you. Which leads into the restaurant scene where you see Kaijiki, who just came out of the character closet because he didn't show up last week. And he is at the restaurant waiting for his food prepared by his best friend Hotaru. And again, he is questioning his memories. Like, I know something. Like, I remember something happened to me. Like, I saw something, and yet I can't put my finger on it. And of course, Hotaru says, don't worry about it. You will get your memory back. And Kaijiki wonders, like, why do you assume that? Oh, I just know. And we see this cutscene with Hopper 1. And remember what happened last week. Last week, Hotaru was given hope that, yes, I saw proof that chemis and humans can coexist in peace and work together and all that crap. So he is positive about the future. And then all of a sudden you hear a door open, and you hear Hotaru say "Irashaimase," And lo and behold, it was Spanner. Spanner, and Hoto's like, oh man, this guy, like, how do you know that I'm here? Like, what are you doing here? Like, he is pissed that he is there in his restaurant, right? And he's wondered, what the hell are you doing here? And Spanner was just being direct, like, hey, I'm just here for breakfast, like, serve me. And Kaijiki was wondering, hey, you apparently you know this guy, like, is he your friend or something? No, he's not my friend. Mind you, like, uh, the high school that no longer exists, the high school that never was, like there's no the school that doesn't exist anymore. It's all about the alchemy school. Like, you know him? No, he's not my friend. Anyways, I know I went off a mini of tangent, whatever, but yay, whatever. So and then you have Mama-san appearing out of nowhere, and she sees this customer in, and again the same thing. Hey, like, is he your friend or something? I'm like, no, no, Casa, no, he's not my friend. Jesus. So he went in the back. Well, he was still in the back, pouting, and he is making his breakfast, and you see him presenting the so-called special morning meal, and he goes ahead and, well, he sits there across from Spanner and just like seeing him eat it, wondering, hey, is my cooking good? Because he does that sometimes. He did it to Kudo as well, and he's just like, whatever, right? So he eats it, and he's like, it's awful, it's crap. And yet he finishes it, the whole thing, and you can tell by this photo, like, as he was eating it, you see the look on his face, like, oh, it's nasty, and yet he eats it. And so after he finishes his plate, he just directly tells Hotaru, like, hey, you suck as a writer, you suck as a chemist, and you are awful as a cook. You're an awful cook. And to rub salt in the wound, he just takes Hotaru's apron off. He goes to the kitchen, mind you, he asks for permission. Mama-san allows it, and he ends up cooking for all four of them. For Mama-san, Hotaru, Kajiki. He makes his own meal, which, mind you, it looks pretty delicious. He knows how to cook, apparently. And he says, bon appetit, go ahead, try it. Both Kajiki and Mama-san liked it so much. And Hotaru was like, are you for real? Are you guys for real? Ed too? What's going on here? And he turns around to look at Spanner like, go ahead, try my food. I was like, oh, I don't want to try it, but okay. So he ends up trying it, and unfortunately for Horuto, he enjoyed the food, and he's like, yeah, it's good. So Spanner paid for his tab. He takes off the apron, put his jacket on, and thanks for the meal, and he leaves. And already Mama-san is like, oh, do we have a spot at my restaurant, like, to hire him as a cook? And Mama-san, like, it's your restaurant. Can you afford him? That's the number one question you need to ask yourself. Like, it's not about if there's a spot open. It's like more so like, is he interested and can you afford him? And Hotaru was like in disbelief, like, Mom, what the hell are you doing? No, I don't want him here, because it's already bad enough that he continues to be dissed by Spanner and see him, during school hours, but it's bad enough it's going to be worse. It's just have him work at the restaurant side by side and just be outshined by him. Like, hell no. And he gets pissed because he knows that he got outshined. Spanner won his mother over. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to have 2 words to say about this guy. And he just quickly just just leaves the restaurant and follows him. Okay, this is something that I picked up, guys. And I don't know if you noticed, but every time someone outshines Hotaru, he tends to stalk him. And this is the second time. And I wonder, throughout the season, there's going to be more stalking. And I'll tell you the reason why I think, the reason that I picked this up. Okay. Remember at episode 1, To the School That Never Was, Minato Sensei asked Hotaru, hey, what is the Renaissance? He did not answer because he was daydreaming. He directed his question to Kudo, who she gave Minato Sensei a very detailed answer about the Renaissance. Everybody in the class was astonished and making fun of Hotaru for giving a lame brain answer. And look what happened. After being outshined by Kudo, he decides to follow her and give her a piece of his mind, which led down the path that led him to the alchemy school, being a Kamen Rider. The rest is history. The same thing happened here. Spanner outshined him at his cooking. He won over mamasan to the sheer idea that, hey, maybe I should make a spot for him, And that's where Hoto's like, that's it. I'm going to give my 2 cents, and I'm going to give him a piece of my mind, so he decides to stalk him, follow him. Which leads into the next scene. So he follows Spanner to some weird bridge, and so a pissed Horuto tails him. He hides, assuming that Spanner knows that he's following him. So Spanner was like, okay, who the hell are you? Why are you following me? Assuming it was Hotaru, it wasn't the case. Apparently, the same guy we saw in the opening scene is following Spanner. And he says, hey, Spanner, I'm gonna get my revenge on you, and blah blah blah, and he ends up transforming into a Melgime, and so apparently this guy knows who Spanner is, and of course Spanner transforms, and Spanner was like, I don't think I know you, but whatever. And you see Hotaru in the back, just like wondering what, like he's debating whether or not should I help Spanner or should I stay back and watch. But he decides to do the hero thing. He transforms, and Spanner's like, do not interfere. But Hotaru does interfere and attacks the Melgime. The Melgime was like, look, I wasn't expecting a 2-against-1 match here, so he gets away. And again, they demorph. And Hotaru asks, do you know this guy? Because apparently he knows you. And Spanner was like, he acts all cool, like he turns around and just say, I don't know this guy. I don't know this man. And walks away. And so back at the alchemy school, which only has 4 students. Wait, is it 3 students? No, 4 students. 4 students. And pretty much retells the story of what happened. And Game, I think that's her name. The girl who stopped dressing up as a tiger and an octopus. And she pretty much tells Hotaru, like, hey, the reason why people are just giving, the reason that people do not like Spanner all that much is not because of his attitude at all. It's because he's great at everything. People are jealous of the guy. That's why people are just don't like him. And when that was revealed, you see Hotaru's face giving this weird thing like, oh shit, maybe I'm jealous of the guy. And Sebi and his iPad was like, he noticed something like, why are you giving out this weird look on your face? And then Kudo just spots on, said, yeah, you're jealous of Spanner. And everybody just acknowledged, like, yeah, you get, you are jealous of him. And Hotaru's like, no, it's not true, man. He's just an ass, okay? I'm not jealous. And clearly he is, because he wouldn't have reacted the way he reacted at all. And just like, ugh. But, and then, Minato sensei appears out of nowhere and tells his only 4 students that the man that attacked Spanner was actually a student of the school named Bolt, and he was supposed to take the final exam to become a super A rank alchemist, but he failed, and he was MIA since then. And we get this flashback where Minato sensei was telling the story about the final exam and how he got paired up with Spanner. And knowing Bolt, he was overconfident of his magic. He assumed that this is going to be a shoo-in, and he does his mannerism. I mean, you guys saw the scene. He's out there. He's all ego, overconfident, and because of that, Spanner just pulled the rug underneath him, does his magic, and just passed. He humiliated him, according to what Bolt says, and Spanner became the super A rank alchemist while Bolt didn't pass. He failed. And since then, he's been gone for a whole year, and for a whole year, he's been harboring this hatred towards Spanner. And apparently, there's a revelation that he has been stalking Spanner for over a year and tried to cause these accidents to occur, but Spanner, he just comes out unscathed and made Bolt more crazier, more hell-bent, because every single time he causes an accident, Spanner manages to save himself. Like, he doesn't react like, hey, what's going on at all. He just does his magic with his ring of power, and he just walks away as if it was nothing. And it just made Bolt even more crazier. And as Bolt is getting crazier and being reminded of what happened, and during the year he tries to kill him, you see 2 out of the 3 sisters just looking outward, and Weird Sister number 3 was wondering, why did you pick this guy? This is scum. He's a loser. And Weird Sister number 2 is like, look, he may be a scum and a loser, but I mean, he's oozing in malice. He's a perfect Malgine. What would I have done? But mind you, she's enjoying the crazy. She's smiling like she's feeling like she's feeding off it. So as Bolt is getting more cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you see Kudo at the park, and you see her looking at a father and daughter just playing on the swings, and we get a flashback of Kudo and her father, just a simple flashback, nothing too important. Then you see Hotaru appearing in the back, and he looked like he was about to approach her, but he remained in hiding because Spanner appears. And this is where Spanner approaches her and asks, hey, are you okay? Is there anything I can do? No, Spanner, everything's fine. And then this is where he ends up giving Kudo his newly captured Kemi card as a gift. And Kudo was wondering, you don't like collecting Kemis, do you? Why I'm getting the feeling you don't like doing this. And Spanner confirms, hey, look, I'm just doing my job. I don't find collecting these things for fun. Which causes Hotaru in the back be all like, you! How dare you! Nani? You can tell by his reaction, like he didn't like the answer he heard. And before he left, Spanner says, look, don't look sad. You look better with a smile. And he walks away. And again, it leads Hotaru be like, he says a lot of cheesy things, yet he still acts all stoic and cool. Like, again, you could see the jealousy losing out of him. So as he leaves, Bolt is hiding in the back, noticing all this, and he assumes that, hey, this girl could be the key to his defeat. So he decides to capture Kudo and tells Spanner, like, hey, I've captured your girlfriend. Meet me at the place you humiliate me at, and you will hear my demands, or else you will never see this girl again. I only want Spanner. Okay? And he's talking directly to Hotaru at that. And mind you, Kudo tries to escape, but, Bolt did a smart thing by taking away her ring of power. And the boys on their motorcycles are tailing him. Mind you, Spanner just went past Hotaru, because for a moment Hotaru doesn't know where is he going at, and apparently Spanner knows. So Bolt took Kudo to the same place the final exam took place. And there you have Spanner, and then you have Hotaru coming from behind, because apparently the gorilla Kemi was sensing one of Kudo's newly acquired cards, and this is where, like, the gorilla's like, hey, I know where they're at, follow me, and Hotaru followed the card. So, okay, so we have the showdown between Bolt and Spanner. Bolt demands Spanner to get on his knees and beg for forgiveness. And Spanner was like, no, hell no, I'm not going to do that. He transforms and just slowly walked towards Bolt. And he was in disbelief and like, hey, this is your girlfriend, so why are you complying to my demands? And Spanner just says, look, you made two mistakes. One, Kudo's not my girlfriend. Two, I'm not going to get down on my knees for anybody. The person who's going to be on their knees is you. And so angry Bolt just flies away, all angry, and tries to drop Kudo, down. So he flies up to the sky and just drops Kudo, and Hotaru transforms into the newly formed burning gorilla and saves her. Spanner flies after him, but unfortunately he can't. And Hotaru decides that, hey, I should help him. So he reverts back to his champion form, gives a rider kick to give Spanner that necessary boost to catch up to him. And Spanner does his thing. He attacks him, throws him down, drops him down, and then Hotaru transforms back to his burning gorilla form, unleashes the fever attack, and rescues the alchemy and captures the card. The end. Well, not really. Not really, because after Bolt is defeated, the alchemy is captured, Hotaru walks towards Spanner, sticks out his hand in friendship, but again, Spanner does not acknowledge Hotaru and just disses him, gives him the middle finger, air quotes, and walks away, leaving Hotaru with his mouth open in disbelief. Again, in the beginning, I said I would have preferred Spanner just magically conjure a kendo stick and just whacks him at the lower back. That would have been funny. And just, yeah, I wish that would happen, but nah. Nah, Spanner is too cool for that, apparently. So after dissing Hotaru, he walks towards Kudo and apologizes for what happened, and he walks away. And then poor Bolt, he lives. He just runs towards Spanner and directly tells him, "Look, you may have defeated me, but I'm not gonna stop until my vengeance is complete." And this is where the middle finger, air quotes, continues and ends. Spanner directly asks him, like, "Hey, can I ask you something? Do I know you?" And it let Bolt be like, "Nani? What? You don't know me?" And Spanner walks away from him saying, like, "I mean it, I do not know you." It just walks away to the motorcycle and just rides off. And Spanner was right. The man who ends up being on his knees was Bolt, because the moment Spanner asked, like, "Do I know you?" "Because I don't know you," he just fell on his knees in disbelief and shock, like, "Wait a minute, you don't know me? You don't even know my name? Like, you don't even remember what you did to me in the final exam? What the hell?" And another thing too, what Minato Sensei shows out of nowhere, and Bolt just sees him right in front of him, and like, "Oh shit, I know what's gonna happen. Please do not wipe out my memories," because, and she's just pulling the whole, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who my family is? My father is the bestest ever in chemistry, in alchemy, whatever, chemistry, whatever. He is great. You should know him. You should know my father's name and reputation, blah, 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 blah." And Minato Sensei, with a great response, as he was gonna do the memory wipe thing with his ring of power, was like, "Too bad, so sad," and then he just wipes out his memory. And then, after everything that's said and done, you have the Weird Sisters overlooking this whole thing unfold, and Weird Sister number 1, who has been played by a 9-year-old, tells her sisters, like, "Hey, continue on creating amalgams while I prepare for something, since now I know their weaknesses." And she does the Sith eyes, and that's the end of the episode. My god, Spanner, you becoming more and more cool. The only thing I wish for is, I wish you could have just hit him in the lower back with a kendo stick. But I did enjoy the fact that, he at least tried Hotaru's cooking and just pointed out, like, "Hey, your cooking sucks, and I will show you who the better cook is." Mind you, this ignited Hotaru's ass a little bit, because he's like, "Look, he's an ass. However, as an alchemist, he is great. And so I have a new goal in mind. I will surpass him instead of," I wish he could have said, "I will make him acknowledge me." But he said that, "Hey, he's a great alchemist, but I'm going to surpass him." So already the rivalry has been established. So we have a Joey/Kaiba rivalry. The writers are trying to make us believe that eventually Kudo and Hotaru will have a thing by the end of the season. We still don't know who Hotaru's father is, because there's a possibility that they could be brother and sister. So I'm not going to put my 2 cents in it. I believe Hotaru is just friendly towards her, really friendly. I don't see a relationship. Spanner, even though he openly said that, "Hey, she's not my girlfriend," but you can tell that he wants Kudo to be his girlfriend. With all the gestures and giving away his cards to her, like, what does that tell you? But Kudo knows, and she does not acknowledge that. She doesn't acknowledge it. So, and eventually there's going to be a love triangle But I get the feeling that Kudo is starting to have some feelings towards Hotaru, especially when she is happy to see Hotaru, come and rescue her. I'm getting that vibe, but you know. And so, tell me, guys, what do you guys think about the episode? Did you dislike it? Did you like it? And if there's any changes you want made about the episode that you want, if did you dislike, the gist of it. Also, you know, let me know if I miss anything, because sometimes with my notes I may have missed a couple important facts. So if I miss anything, write in the comments below as well. And please give a like if you like it. Please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!